What's up, guys? This is Derek from moreplatesmoredates.com, also known as DC7. I just wanted to talk to you guys quick about my latest article I just published. It's about the number one factor that is going to increase your sex appeal and how attractive you are to women. And that is how lean your face is. So, a lot of guys, they try and fix things like their style, their social skills. Those are all great things to work on, obviously, and those make a huge difference. But when it comes down to being an attractive male to the opposite sex, you need to look healthy, you need to look fit. And one of those things that you need to make sure you do is get your body fat to a respectably low level. A lot of guys, they think that they need, reconstructive surgery and ridiculous things to fix their supposed lackluster faces or their shitty jawlines and bad cheekbones. Man, in reality, 99% of guys just are too fat, and that's the honest truth. When you guys need to understand that if you've never been under 10% body fat before, you don't really have a clue what your face actually looks like. It's been shrouded in a lot of fat weight, maybe some water weight too, and that's completely covering up your facial features, like your jawline. When you smile, you don't have your double chin going, stuff like that, your Adam's apple, that kind of stuff is not going to show if you're not at a respectably low body fat percentage, guys. So the number one thing I would recommend is getting it as low as possible. Obviously not to dangerously low, like a competitor on a bodybuilding stage, 5%, that's not necessary, but under 10% is maintainable for most people. And that is going to make your face much more aesthetic and attractive to females. And, it's going to make a huge difference in your sex life. Okay, one thing that I am really guilty of, and a lot of bodybuilders and fitness enthusiasts are as well, is, to gain muscle. I used to do these dirty bulk, huge bulk phases where I'd gain 50 to 60 pounds in 3 to 4 months. Not only was that ridiculously unhealthy, but I would pack on so much shitty weight that my face would just go to complete hell and it would just look disgusting. Maybe not totally repulsive or anything, but obviously my results with my dating life and my sex life, I definitely wasn't as successful when I was that bloated up and fluffed up with shit. It's not a good look, guys. You can't, you don't even look like the same person when you have that much fat on your face. And anytime I'd cut down, then I'd get lean again. It would just be like a 180. I'd start getting better results with more attractive women. My turnaround ratio on my cold approaches would go up. I'd get more dates a lot easier with less effort. It's a no-brainer, guys. Stay lean year round. I know the the calling of the gains, and you want to get to 240 plus and just be a beast and be strong as shit. But guys, there comes a point where when you're just gaining weight and it's not, you're just gaining stupid amounts of weight past where you need to be. You're just impressing guys at that point. Your strength is going up so you can bench 4 plates at the gym. Girls don't give a shit about that. That's not increasing how attractive you are to them in their eyes when they look at you. You're gonna impress your buddies at the gym, but if you want to be attractive to females and max it out, the number one thing you can do is get lean. And a lot of guys, they try to find ways to spot reduce fat in their face. And you guys need to understand, first of all, that that's not possible. A lot of guys I know, they'll chew gum excessively for several hours a day because they think it's going to build a strong jawline and it's going to make them super attractive. But if you're not lean, it doesn't matter. You could chew as much gum as you want. It's like doing crunches in the gym for your abs. If you do 1 billion crunches every week, if you're still not low enough body fat percentage, it's not going to matter whatsoever. You're not going to have visible abs. Same goes for your face. So what you guys need to do is understand how to diet down properly and get lean. Ideally, you want to get to 10% body fat or less. I'd say that's where you're going to notice the big difference. And if you're already actively trying to, improve your sex life or like, go out with more girls, you're gonna notice and you're not that close to 10% body fat. You're gonna notice a huge difference once you start getting really really lean, guys. Like, I can't even stress enough how, like, the best thing about it too is it's not some magical formula or some like crazy like obscure impossible thing to do. All you need to do is clean up your diet and eat properly and do some cardio and some exercise. It's not that hard. It's just about having the willpower to do it, being strict. It'll pay off, seriously. Let's see. I included some before and after pictures of some like past bulk phases I've done where my face has just got like irresponsibly out of control fat, and like, you guys can notice, we're going to be able to see the difference for yourself in my article. I posted it below. There's the most ridiculous picture is me. I think I'm at 250 to 255 in this picture, easily 20% plus body fat percentage level, and just looking terrible. I think my blood pressure was like 150 over 100 in this picture or something terrible. And then beside it, you can see me at 200. I think I was about close to 5% body fat in this picture. I was pre-contest at the time. And like, the difference is staggering, and not just visually, but like how it translates to your results in life, like how you get treated, how women look at you. It's a huge difference. I also included some before and after pictures of Chris from Good Looking Loser, as well as Victor Pride from Bold and Determined, and you can see the vast difference in their pictures as well. Some things I want to mention also: the effect muscle mass has on facial features as well. This is something that is probably covered a lot less and is largely like not known in the first place. Like, obviously you want to have a low body fat percentage level, but also when you gain muscle tissue, guys, it's evenly distributed across your body. Just like when you lose fat, you lose it everywhere. You can't spot reduce fat. You can't really spot increase muscle either. So when you gain muscle, you're gonna also put on muscle on your face, and believe it or not, it actually looks really, it makes a huge difference on your masculinity. You're gonna come across as a much sexier, much more masculine looking individual. And I included a picture of me at about 17 or 18 years old. Like, obviously I've already finished puberty at this point. You can just see how much of a baby face I have in this picture. I'm not fat by any means, I'm pretty lean in it, but I included a picture as well beside it of me at, I think I was 21 years old in this picture, but I had gained about, in between the two pictures, I had put on about 40 pounds of muscle, maybe less, maybe 30 to 40. No, that 40 is excessive. I'd say 20 to 30 pounds would probably be more realistic. This was like my main kind of super intense bodybuilding phase in life, where I was just like all about it and going super hard and just like living and breathing the gym pretty much. But you can see the blatant difference on how masculine my face looked, even though I was lean in both pictures. You can see how much more pronounced my facial features are. And, just like, you can just tell that I look like a more masculine individual just by looking at me. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but when you look at the picture, you're going to get the idea. Making your body fat as low as possible, as well as increasing your muscle mass. Keeping the body fat low, though, are the two keys to making your face look as maxed out as it can be, in my opinion. Obviously not including skin, complexion, all that kind of stuff, but the one overarching factor influencing your sex appeal, I'd say, by far, is your body fat percentage level. So obviously I'm not going to get too in-depth in this video about how to go about lowering your body fat percentage. I've included an article I linked an article that I wrote recently about how to get shredded, how to get lean. I linked it in this article as well. You guys can check it out if you want an elaborate, in-depth view on how to go about getting lean in the most efficient way possible. If it's kind of put into more common sense, general knowledge and layman's terms, because it's for beginners, but I'd say even intermediate lifters and like fitness enthusiasts would still benefit from reading it if you haven't successfully been able to get to 10% body fat or lower. Let's see, some products that I'd recommend. There's not a lot of things that are necessary to getting lean per se. One thing though that I definitely recommend is getting a food scale if you don't already have it. An accurate digital food scale is going to allow you to keep track of your daily caloric intake with great accuracy. And when you can do that, then you can tell how much of a calorie deficit you're in, ensure you're in a calorie deficit, and allow yourself to continuously be burning fat. If you don't measure your food, you don't weigh it, you're kind of just shooting, taking shots in the dark trying to get lean. So I highly recommend you invest in a food scale. I've had one for years. I'd say it's one of the best investments I've ever made. Let's see. Also, if you have like a special event or something coming up, or you have like a photo shoot or a wedding, or, just something you want to look good for, you want to kind of like peak your facial features out for one specific day, you can also take a diuretic, which is going to flush all the water held in your body basically. So, like you're gonna, regardless of how lean you are, you're going to have some excess water retention beneath the skin. You can't just like walk around without that water. You need it to, be a functional human being and operate properly. But for a short period of time, you can get rid of it via water flushing. So that could be, you could do that with a water load, like in peak week for bodybuilders, or you can use a diuretic. And, basically it's going to give you the illusion of being even more lean than you actually are, just by flushing the water out of your skin that's being held in there. It's going to give you a temporary look of just like additional crispness, leanness. You're going to get all that water retention out of you no matter what. It's definitely a cheap investment, but it's good to have on hand just in case you have a special event that you gotta, look your best for. I linked the one I use. It's over the counter. It's natural. It's herbal. It's not like anything crazy. It also has potassium in it. It's going to prevent you from cramping, because that can be an issue if you're depleting yourself of water. So, this is the one I use and recommend if you guys want to check it out. It's in the article as well. What else? Indirectly, you can use a fat burner. It's going to help you, cut into a calorie deficit a bit easier by increasing how much calories your body is burning per day. It's going to increase your temperature. It's going to make you burn more calories throughout the day, regardless of your activity level. I'm not saying that you should discontinue exercise or anything. Obviously, you should continue it as normal. It's just going to help aid you get into that calorie deficit a lot easier without having to resort to doing more excessive amounts of cardio or like cutting your food intake by more. It's definitely a good tool to have on hand. As well, if the fat burner you get, if it has ingredients in it that suppress your appetite, that's good, because it can help you not get cravings as bad when you cave on your diet. It's usually a result of you being hungry and caving, going like running to the pantry and just like slamming a box of cookies because you can't deal with the sugar cravings anymore or something. Like, trust me, I've been guilty of it in the past. Everyone's gonna fuck up once in a while, but if your fat burner has a appetite suppressant in it, I find it's hugely beneficial to have in your program, just to offset those cravings that are definitely going to start kicking in once you get to the really low body fat percentage levels. I linked the one I use below. It's not heavy on stimulants or anything, so you don't have to worry about crazy crashes like you might get with like a Federin, or like those crazy pre-workouts that you can get at the supplement stores or are banned at the supplement stores now. This is totally legal. It has a mild amount of caffeine per pill, as well as other ingredients that are going to help your fat burning and appetite suppressing. I recommend it if that is something you are interested in. To summarize my article, basically, you need to get your face as lean as possible. You want to reduce your body fat to less than 10% ideally by eating a clean and calorie mindful diet. So you want to count your calories on a daily basis, ensure that you are, not overeating, you're not in a surplus that's going to make you gain unnecessary fat that you don't need. Also, if you want to reduce water retention aside from diuretic for temporary flushing, you can reduce your carbohydrate intake. If you're allotting a lot of your calories per day to carbohydrates, those are going to sponge up the water you're drinking in. If you want to opt for a lower carb diet or a no carb diet, you're automatically going to stop holding as much water retention, which in turn is going to bloat your face a lot less. That's why a lot of guys, when they start ketosis diets, it's not uncommon to lose up to 5 pounds in the first week or so, just because your body is, flushing all that sponge up water away that was all stuck, like sucked up by the carbs you had in your diet previously. Also, increase your water intake. Like a lot of guys, they drink an inadequate amount of water. There's, I'm super guilty of it in the past too. I usually just like fill up a shaker cup and I walk around with it and I sip on it. But like if you really want to maximize your facial aesthetics, your water intake needs to be high. I recommend up to a gallon of water per day, because if you're having like a liter of water a day or less, like your body operates almost like a camel does. It's going to soak up water if it notices it's, if your body is dehydrated and you're not giving it enough fluids, its natural reaction is going to be to hold what you're taking in to, like hold on to the fluids longer to sustain itself. So if you're not giving it an adequate amount, it's going to suck that water up and hold on to it, and it's going to result in increased facial bloating. So, like the more water you drink, believe it or not, the less water you're going to retain in your face. I know it doesn't sound like it makes sense, but the science backs it up. That's how your body works. I'm just telling you how it is. If you want to this is why bodybuilders, when they want to get like stupidly shredded the week before a show, they'll load up on like 3 to 4 gallons water per day to flush their bodies entirely of anything it's holding. I think that concludes most of the points I wanted to make in the video. If you want to read more elaborate details about the points I'm making, get links to the products or to the other articles I mentioned, check out the article linked below. Or you can contact me at dc7gll@gmail.com if you have any questions. Subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you guys want. Until next time, this is Derek from moreplates, moredates.com.